You know, there's a lot of information being leaked about the WWE, and one of the things that's actually being leaked is coming from Nick Khan, which is really cool. I feel like Nick Khan kind of talks about things years in advance, and then eventually it happens, and now we actually know what is bound to happen, which is pretty cool. Plus, WWE has a new signing that we know is being signed to the company. We know it's confirmed, but now we got some information on the debut and all of that. And what's even crazier, too, is there's some really good news about AEW Collision, which I do want to talk about that. But, guys, we have to just talk about the simple fact that WWE and AEW right now, it's a pretty exciting time for both companies. Even though WWE is going into WrestleMania with a lot of momentum and a lot of success, I feel like the last month, the tides have turned for AEW. And we got to talk about this because they're making a major change, and I'm super excited about that. So let's kick things off with AEW Collision, because first and foremost, AEW Collision is kind of, you know, I've actually been enjoying it a lot more than Dynamite most times, and a lot of people don't tend to know that, but I definitely appreciate Collision a lot more. I like what they're doing with the Lucha Libre on the show. Even the stuff with Adam Cole and Daniel Garcia is relatively cool. However, TNT, on their website and on their schedule, they now have AEW Collision no longer going head-to-head with WrestleMania. Instead, what they are going to do that weekend is they are going to move nights to Thursday night, and it's called AEW Collision Spring Breakthrough. But then what's even better is that the show will air live on Thursday night. So it's not a pre-taped show. It's not it's not like one of those things where like AEW pre-tapes it and then pre-tapes a little bit here and then a little bit there, and then they put it all together as one big episode. No, they are 100% going live. And listen, I think the biggest thing I've criticized about professional wrestling, this includes WWE, this includes TNA, this includes everything. I don't like pre-taped wrestling. And I think Collision being live is just going to be a lot better of a show in general. But it's also happening on WrestleMania weekend, or WrestleMania week, which tells me that AEW is very well possibly going to, they're going to do something really cool, obviously on that Thursday night. And listen, they're technically competing head to head with TNA, so we'll see what TNA does, because TNA is probably going to try to load up the show. I'm sure WWE will send some top stars to TNA to kind of help them out. But there's not a direct competition between both shows. Obviously, TNA is pre-taped. Obviously, AEW Collision won't be. This is a big win for Tony Khan. In fact, I've been one of the guys that's been saying for months and months and months, like, Collision should just permanently be on Thursdays. I don't like the idea of it being on Saturday nights, but we'll see, obviously, what happens. If it does extremely well on a Thursday and it's live, you never know what kind of change may come.
Now would be the best time to remind you that we have a major goal to hit 100,000 subscribers. Over 40% of the viewers who watch this channel are not subscribed. Please click subscribe if you enjoy staying educated on everything with wrestling news.
All right, guys, and that brings us to our next topic. We already know that Aleister Black is coming back to WWE. In fact, they've been airing vignettes. And the thing about this new signing, it's so interesting because obviously I've been following this for a long time. Aleister Black going to SmackDown, Zelina Vega's there. It just makes all the sense in the world, right? For those who don't know, Zelina Vega and Aleister Black are actually like they're a couple. They're married, I believe. So obviously it would make sense that he would be on SmackDown, right? WWE tends to not split up couples. Now, with that being said, WWE's been airing these vignettes for Aleister Black, and yesterday they didn't necessarily reveal the face of Aleister Black. It's the same body, the same clothing, the same structure, shadows, and stuff like that. But what's really, really crazy is that WWE has accidentally leaked the debut date for Aleister Black. Or maybe it was intentional. But if you look at the signs on the vignettes, 4 and 25, clearly, Aleister Black is not coming back to WWE before WrestleMania. In fact, it's probably taking place the Friday the week after, which will be his return. It'll be his official return, the Friday after SmackDown, or the Friday SmackDown after WrestleMania. And with this return, there's a lot of great things about it. For the fans that watched him in WWE and watched him under Triple H, you're probably excited because you saw the kind of work that he did in NXT. And then to see him go into AEW, and it's not to shit on AEW's run, but I think ultimately what happened was a lot of people looked at this guy as like, wow, he was so good in NXT. Vince McMahon screwed him over on the main roster. He's going to go to AEW and be a tremendous success story for Tony Khan. Yes, the House of Black was very cool, but at the end of the day, it didn't really lead to anything. It didn't really lead to anything huge for him. And it obviously didn't lead to a major singles run or a major singles championship reign or anything like that. So a lot of people were kind of taken back by that. WWE has kind of played this a little bit interestingly, though, because they are announcing a return / signing. They've confirmed it, right, at this point. I mean, technically, they're not telling you it's Aleister Black, but it is. And they're telling you a month before it even happens, which is like crazy because these last few weeks they've been airing these vignettes, and now WWE basically has this long-term plan for him to show up at the SmackDown after WrestleMania. I don't know. I want to see WWE do big things with him. Obviously, Rey Fenix is coming into SmackDown next week. SmackDown's probably going to be pretty loaded with some really, really talented wrestlers, and you can't forget about Andrade and some of these other guys that they already have. And that brings us to our final topic, ladies and gentlemen. WWE, Nick Khan, they got a trick up their sleeve. In the new interview with Hindustan Times, WWE President Nick Khan addressed the long-running speculation about India finally getting a WWE Premium Live event. Now, WWE hasn't confirmed this. This is just simply some stuff that's being leaked and talked about. But Nick Khan says that it's being penciled out for 26 and 27. So 2026, 2027. He revealed that India was pretty much one of the top list of priorities. And the reason for that, it's not, obviously it is for WWE, but as you guys can see, like Nick Khan could tell you all day that India is a big priority for WWE. And the truth is, that's not really true. Like, they got rid of Veer, they got rid of Jinder Mahal, they got rid of most of their Indian born superstars. They did Superstar Spectacle, but like even that, like WWE really hasn't prioritized India the way they say they do. Now for Netflix, India is a massive market, and India is a massive market for WWE, but WWE doesn't lean into it as much. We see them doing these international tours, but they're in Europe, they're in UK. This is great news for the country of India. This is great news for the fans of India. I know I have a lot of people who watch my content from India, so I'm sure if you're watching this, you're probably excited about this. But this is one of those news stories that comes out, and it just makes you wonder, why hasn't WWE done an actual premium live event from there ever? And Superstar Spectacle, to me, doesn't count as a premium live event, So we'll see. Is it Backlash India? Is it Money in the Bank? Is it SummerSlam? I don't know, right? Obviously, I'm just throwing out random pay-per-view names, but it is important to acknowledge that. I look forward to seeing what happens. Let me know what you guys think down below. I think this is huge news for WWE, continuing the global expansion. And yes, I would like to see it become a stadium show.